What's good? What's good? What's good? Everybody out there, man. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Cheat True Podcast with your boy Justin J. Will, whatever you want to call me. Hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, whenever you may be listening to this, whatever day you may be listening to this. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy, because you could have been anywhere in the world. But as always, you're here with me. So I appreciate it, man. So I'm doing well. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Nothing else really to be said there. Had a good weekend. Hope everybody's all recharged and all pumped up, ready for the work week, rest week, vacation week, whatever it may be for you, man. I just appreciate you for dropping in, tuning in to your boy, man. So won't be long today, man. Got a couple things to talk about, a couple things on the brain. But I want to start out with this right here, man. So speaking of the weekend and having a good weekend, which I hope everybody had a great weekend. I actually went out for a little while. Went out like Saturday night. Went out to a little, I don't know what is it. It's not really a club, I guess. It's more like a lounge, I guess. I don't know, man. I went out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When I say I went out, y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So I went out for a little while. And I actually had a good time, man. No lie. Had a good time. I was there supporting somebody that I knew. And I had a good time. It was all fun. Nothing popped off. Everybody was cool, chill. It was a good time. So going out that night really made me realize something. Now, I actually came to this realization. Let's see, I just turned 27 in March. So I came to this realization probably last year. It's like last summer. That, man, when you get past 25, you start getting into that 26, 27, 28, 29 range, man, the whole going out thing starts to change a little bit. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that as you get older, you get tired faster. Okay? And I'm not going to lie, man. It was a point in time, and it wasn't because, like, it was boring or anything of that nature. Like, the music was going, and, man, I had a few drinks or whatever. I was good. But there was a point in time when I was in there, man, and I actually yawned. No kidding. I actually yawned like 2 times. Hey, was I don't know, man. I can't confidently say that I've ever, like, done that any other time. Like, I don't know if I've ever did that before. I just know, man, I was in there, man, and I yawned, like, back to back. Now, those were the only 2 times, but still, that goes back to my point, man. Started getting a little older, man. Man, and I know, I'm relatively young. I'm 27. I'm not necessarily 47. I'm not 47, 57. I'm 27. But there's a difference between going out at 27 and going out at 23. I'm telling you, that there's a difference. Oh, yeah, man, I promise you. And anybody that's listening to this that's my age or older, y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's a big difference, partner. I mean, and me, I'm, man, I drink like a pirate. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie to you. But, man, look here. I can't do it like I used to, man. I can't hang and bang like I used to. I mean, I can still hang and bang. I just can't do it like I used to. And if I am hanging and banging, the next morning, I'm going to need to recover. Okay? I'm going to need to recover a little longer, man. Back when I was like 23, man, I could be out all night, 5 o'clock in the morning. Man, I'd get right back up at 8. Get right back up at 9. If I try to do some crap like that now, man, it might be 1 o'clock. It might be. Like, it's just the difference, man. It's like just the subtle differences. Like, now if I plan on being out that long, I'm going to have to take like a little pre-turn-up nap or something. Ain't that what the kids call it, pre-turn-up nap? Well, the kids don't call it nothing because they don't got to worry about it. But I thought I saw that term somewhere, so I thought I'd use it. Yeah, I would have to take a little nap, man. Seriously. And if I'm not out of the house by a certain time, I'm not going out. I'm not going nowhere. Am I the only one that feels that way? Like, if I'm not out of the house by like 10 or something, it used to be, man, I could get a call at 1 o'clock, man, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Throw some clothes on, whatever. But now, man, if you want me to get out, if you want me to do anything with you, man, you gotta give me fair warning. You gotta give me a 2 weeks notice. Like, you gotta let me know. Like, I just can't get up at, I just can't raise up at 11:30 and just go out the house. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, and I'm gonna let y'all think on what that exception is. Everybody know what I'm talking about. But yeah, for the most part, man, like, I just can't do it like I used to. I just can't. I just came to the realization, like, man, I just can't do it like I used to. Still have fun, and I still plan on going out some more. I'm not gonna sit up here and just, I'm not gonna be lame like that. Like, it's fun, but it's just now that I'm getting older, I have to take it easy. I have to take it easy, man. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it like I used to, man. I just can't raise up, man, and, go out and come home at 3 o'clock in the morning and think I'm just going to get up, everything going to be all right. Nah, it's not. It's not. It's not at all, man. I'm telling y'all, man, it's the difference between partying, the difference between going out, having a drink, the difference between going to the strip club, whatever, man. I'm telling you. The difference between doing that at 27 and the difference between doing that at 23, I'm telling you, it's a big difference. So to all y'all young folks out there, man, it's like 24 and below, man, y'all stay young. Okay? I'm telling you, you get 27, you get to be an old guy like me, man, it just don't work like that no more. Serious business. But anyway, man, that was just my action for the weekend, I guess. Had a good time, though, like I said. It was all good. Really had a good time. So the main topic for the day, I want to talk about Le'Veon Bell's contract situation, or lack thereof, because he was not able to reach an agreement with the Pittsburgh Steelers regarding a long-term deal. So he will officially play under the franchise tag for a second consecutive season. So that franchise tag is worth $14.5 million, and he will play under that this season. So Le'Veon Bell has been putting it out in the public for a while now, through social media posts. And I think he actually came out and said some things, some interviews, basically alluding to the whole contract situation and wanted to be paid like one of the top players in the league and not necessarily one of the top players at his position, which would mean he would make more money. So he wants to be paid like let's just say like a Jimmy Garoppolo. So, Jimmy Garoppolo got that bag from the 49ers, $100+ million. So he wants to be paid like a top gun. He wants to be paid like one of the top players. Now, the thing is, Le'Veon Bell with this $14.5 million franchise tag, he will actually have the biggest cap hit out of all the running backs for this year. So Le'Veon Bell have the highest with $14.5 million. So that basically makes him the highest paid running back this year. But Le'Veon Bell wants the long-term security, and basically he wants to start off at like $14.5 million a year. And the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't with that, man. They made a deal around like $13.3 million, something like that, $13 million. And Le'Veon Bell's just not having it. So it's quite possible that we'll end up with the same scenario that happened last year, which was Le'Veon Bell saying, you know what, man, I'm just going to skip training camp. And I'm going to come in when I get ready. And he'll probably do the same thing, man. He came in late last year, and he had to knock some dust off, had a few rough couple of games, and eventually got into the groove of things and finished, an all-pro season. Probably be much of the same this year because technically he's not in the contract. So he really can come in whenever he feels like it. And he's been on the whole vegan diet, and he's been kickboxing, staying in shape, all that stuff, man. So, first of all, this whole situation, Le'Veon Bell, man, it should teach us a valuable lesson. Okay? If we already don't know this valuable lesson, I'm going to say it. any company that you work for, in this case, it's, Le'Veon Bell working for the Pittsburgh Steelers or whatever. But this goes for a corporate environment. This goes for, hey, if you flip burgers, if you put up shopping carts at the grocery store, if you, I don't know, man, whatever you do, fly airplanes, whatever. That company is going to do whatever it sees fit for that company. Get what I'm saying? Like, they are going to do the best thing for them. They're not necessarily going to do the best thing for you. They're going to do the best thing for them. And they are going to do the best thing for that bottom line. One thing being in a corporate environment has taught me, and being around contracts and all that crap, there's two things in business, man. It's all about saving money and making money. Both of them things right there, man. We're going to make the money and we're going to save money. And by saving money, we making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of those things go together. So a company is going to do what it has to do to satisfy that bottom line. And the company's going to do whatever is in the best interest of the company, no matter what. So don't fall in love with the whole, oh, yeah, man, we really care about our employees. And they may really care about you. They're going to give you good benefits and all that. And, man, give you a little $2 raise and whatever. But at the end of the day, man, if heads got to roll, they'll do it. They will lay you off. They will fire your ass. They will do whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to satisfy that bottom line, man. They're going to do it. So the Steelers here, which, you can look at it two different ways, right? You can look at it from the business standpoint. You're looking at it from the player standpoint, which is pretty much how you always look at these contracts, right? You can look at it from the team's point of view. Like, hey, the team wants to save money. They want to stay within a reasonable value for them. They want to pay them good, but they don't want to pay them quarterback money, which, hey, I'm for that, to be honest. I'm with that. Like, you don't want to end up like the Redskins did that year, paying a defensive lineman, paying somebody like Albert Hainsworth all that damn money to do absolutely positively nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to give quarterback money to a non-quarterback. That's what a lot of teams end up doing, like Miami. And Miami gave all that money in Ndamukong Suh. Like, you don't want to get caught up in that situation, man. That's what bad franchises do. That's not what good franchises do. They don't do that. The Patriots don't do that. The Spurs don't do that in basketball. Like, the really good franchises, they don't do that type of crap. So Pittsburgh is really just staying within its means, man. It's staying in character. They're not gonna throw a whole bunch of money at Le'Veon Bell. They will say, hey, we've given you this franchise tag. If you want to sign it, which, he's gonna play under it. But, we're gonna make you a deal. If you ain't with it, hey, it is what it is. We'll use you for this season. If you don't come, you don't come. Whatever, we won't pay you. And we'll just live without you. They're not going to get desperate. They're not going to just throw a whole bunch of money at them. They'll let somebody like the Cleveland Browns or somebody like that, some bad team out there, Miami, to throw a whole bunch of money at Le'Veon Bell. They're not going to do that. And that's just how they are. And that's how a lot of good teams are. They're just not about to overpay for somebody. If they feel like they're going to overpay or whatever, then they'll just live without you. Which is messed up for Le'Veon Bell, man, because he's an all-pro. The guy's just ridiculously good, man. He's just ridiculously good. Like, he's just an all-around player, man. All-pro running back. Can catch the ball at the backfield. He can actually line up at receiver and run routes. Like, he's an overall workhorse back. And, he's put in all this work. Had the little suspension. Had the little weed problem, little weed issue or whatever. I don't know whether that has anything to do with the Steelers not necessarily wanting to give him that big of a long-term deal, pay him the money that he wants. I don't think it really does. It may have some influence. I'm pretty sure they're using that as leverage. Like, hey, you are in the marijuana program or whatever you call that thing for the NFL. So maybe they use that against him or whatever to try to lower the price, which I can't be mad at them for doing that, because when you negotiate, you're trying to get the best price for you, no matter what side you're on. But it's messed up for Le'Veon Bell though, man. Seriously, because these guys go out here and bust their ass, and I'm on the player side, like no doubt about it. I want them to get paid whatever they feel like they can get paid, man. Whatever team wants to give them, hey, you go ahead and you get your money, man. Regardless, man, go ahead and get your money, get what you can get. Hey, look, Le'Veon Bell, he's probably seeing what's going on with the whole Kawhi Leonard situation. He just saw what went on with the Isaiah Thomas situation. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Thomas was in line to get like a max deal last year, but then had that injury or whatever, and look what happened. You know, he just signed for the veteran minimum with the Nuggets. I'm talking about him getting like $100 million contract or something. And Le'Veon Bell sees that, man. So he wants to seize the opportunity. He wants to make sure that they don't use him like the Cowboys did DeMarco Murray that year. Remember DeMarco Murray? He was a workhorse back too. And the Cowboys gave him like a record number of carries that year and didn't pay him. They just used him up. Which is dirty, right? That's dirty as hell. Like, that is super dirty. And Le'Veon Bell knows that, man. He's on game. He knows that. He knows what's going to happen this year, right? Last year, they don't have a good feeling about him coming back. He's not going to come back, more than likely, by not agreeing to the whole long-term deal. They know what's going to happen. He knows what's going to happen. They're going to use him up. They're going to give him a whole bunch of touches, a whole bunch of carries, put some more mileage on him, and let him go on about his business. So he knows what's going on. And I can't blame him for being cautious, man. Hey, real talk. If he comes halfway through the season or whatever, who knows? Maybe that's just enough to get him into shape for the playoffs. We believe that the Steelers will be in the playoffs, right? They'll probably be in the playoffs. I mean, even without Le'Veon Bell, the offense is still pretty good. I mean, you still got Ben Roethlisberger. Still got Antonio Brown, top 2 receiver in the league. Number 1 in some people's eyes. I'm not going to argue with that. Got Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, you lost Martavis Bryant. But, I mean, you still have a pretty good offense. But Le'Veon Bell is a part of that trio. Let's not get it messed up. He definitely makes up that whole trio. You would rather have him than not have him, for sure. But I'm definitely on Le'Veon Bell's side in this situation, man. I hope he gets his money, whether it's this year or next year. I'm pretty sure there'll be somebody like Miami. There'll be somebody like Cleveland. There'll be somebody like New York, the Jets. Jets will probably be in the running for a running back next year. You know, they got a young quarterback in Sam Darnold. So maybe they'll say, hey, let's get a guy like Le'Veon Bell who can help out, and they'll pay him a whole bunch of money. One of these bad franchises do something like that. They'll give him his money. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. Now, speaking of the Steelers, man, let's get on them for a little while. Now, do you guys realize, man, the Steelers, they haven't even reached the Super Bowl with these guys on the roster? So you got 3 Hall of Famers. You know, Le'Veon Bell's still young. Le'Veon Bell's like, 26? So he's still young. 26, 27, one of them. I mean, we think that he has, I'm going to say, they say that running backs hit the wall at like 30. So let's just say he has a good solid 6 all-pro years left. I'm going to just say 6. All-pro, potentially all-pro years left. Now, he's probably not going to be there after this year. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the agent already said he's not going to be there. 2018 is likely his last season there. So he's probably gone. Now, unless they end up striking gold this year, which they could, they could end up going to the Super Bowl. Who knows? Maybe they could win it. But they haven't even reached the Super Bowl with these guys. Now, you got 3 Hall of Famers. You got Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. 2-time Super Bowl champ. You got AB, Antonio Brown, 8'4", man. Tony Toe Tap. Like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Number 1 receiver, number 2 receiver in the league, however you want to place him. Arguably, number 1 receiver in the league. And you got Le'Veon Bell, who's arguably the number 1 running back in the league. How could you have not even, like, made one Super Bowl with these guys? Now, the last time Pittsburgh was in the Super Bowl was against Green Bay, and that was in 2010. So they drafted Antonio Brown afterwards. They drafted him in the following draft, the 2010 draft or whatever. So he wasn't there for that. And they haven't made it back since. I'm just saying, man, this whole window that they had, look, if it doesn't happen this year, it's not happening. And if it doesn't happen, I think that this could go down as one of the biggest letdowns in sports history. Like, how could you have those 3 guys together and not even go to a championship game? Not even go to a Super Bowl. Like, you haven't even went to one. So now, it may be because Pittsburgh has done a terrible job at drafting defense. Now, they whiffed on some defensive players, that's for sure. Let's look at some of these first round picks. Let's look at some of these picks, man. So, what, you got let's go back to 2011, man. Cameron Hayward, yeah, he's been all right. He's been pretty good, I guess. You got 2012, they drafted David DeCastro in the first round. Second round, they went Mike Adams. So they went guard and tackle. They went offense 2012. But 2013, that's when they started drafting defense heavily. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last 5 years, they've drafted defensive talent in the first round, or what they thought was defensive talent in the first round. So in 2013, they drafted Jarvis Jones out of Georgia, who is he's currently out of the league. He finished his career with like 6 sacks. He was a disappointment. He was a major disappointment. In 2014, they selected Ryan Shazier, who has been good, I guess. He's been good. He's a good player. He's a really good player. Now, he had that injury last year, that scary injury last year, so he may not play again. He may not play again for the rest of his life, which I hope that's not the case. I hope he recovers and he's able to come back and play at a high level. But I guess we can say that they hit on that one. Second round pick in 2014 of note, Stephen Tuitt. I'm not even finna sit up here and lie like I really know if he's really been that good or not. 2015, Bud Dupree. Meh. 2016, Artie Burns. Meh. 2017, TJ Watt. He's been good. And 2018, they drafted Terrell Edmonds, who a lot of draft nicks thought was a reach in the first round. Second round prospect. Kind of like Artie Burns was. They selected Artie Burns at the end of the first round, and he was a second round prospect. So the Steelers, they haven't done a good job of putting together a solid defense, man. I mean, this definitely isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers of old, man. This isn't the defense that they rolled in against Aaron Rodgers in the 2010 Super Bowl, man. You know, Ike Taylor, Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, young James Harrison, prime James Harrison, Lawrence Timmons, James Ferrier, Lamar Woodley, Casey Hampton, Evander Hood, Brett Keisel. Like, these guys were really damn good. And Pittsburgh has struggled to put together a solid defense like it once had. They definitely have struggled with that. So with that being said, Pittsburgh need to get it done, man. They need to go ahead, stop BSing, get it done, man. They're up here having shootouts with Blake Bortles in playoff games and getting beat by Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Got to do better. Got to do better. So let's transition here and talk about some NCAA football, specifically the SEC, Southeastern Conference. They just started their media days, and ESPN has just released their preseason power ranking. So, man, this is the time of year, man. Football's right around the corner. I think I say that again. Football is just around the corner. Pro football, college football. Football is just around the corner, man. Oh, my God. I cannot wait. I'm so ready. If you guys haven't heard me say that enough, man, I'm so ready for football. Like, seriously. So it's right around the corner. And, of course, this is the time of year where everybody has their hopes up, from the NFL teams to college football teams. Hey, we have these draft picks and everybody's going to hit. And I love this guy we took out of North Dakota State in the 7th round. He's going to really provide us with some playmaking ability. He's going to be really good. Everybody has their hopes up, man. This is the year. Matt Stafford, this is the year right here, man. This is the year. I'm telling you, man, this is the year. This is the year we finally put it all together, man. This is the year we finally get it done. This is the year we finally win a playoff game. Everybody feels that way, right? Everybody has their hopes up. Everybody's high on life. My team has this guy. We got this recruit. We signed this free agent. We signed these free agents. It's all good, man. Until the season starts and you're 5 games in, you're like, well, there's always next year. But yeah, man, ESPN released their preseason power ranking, man. So I'm just going to go through them and I'll list them all to you guys. We can talk about it a little bit. So Alabama's number 1, no surprise there. Georgia's number 2. Auburn's number 3. Mississippi State's number 4. Florida's number 5. South Carolina's number 6. LSU is 7. Texas A&M is 8. And Kentucky's 9. Missouri's 10. Ole Miss is 11. Tennessee's 12. Vanderbilt's 13. And Arkansas is 14. So Arkansas's last. Now, no surprise there with Alabama and Georgia being 1 and 2. No surprise there. I mean, they met in the title game last year. And I think that we can confidently say that those are the top 2 teams in the SEC this year. I mean, coming into the year. Obviously we'll have to see what happens when they start playing the games, but they are the top dogs. They are the ones you got to beat, man. Alabama in the SEC West, Georgia in the SEC East. Now, Alabama, man, I'm really interested to see Alabama this year, man. Their quarterback, Tua, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but as much as it hurt me last year to see him beat my Georgia Bulldogs, as much as it hurt. And it hurt like hell, though. I mean, it hurt like hell. It hurt like holy hell to see that happen. To see Jalen Hurts, a.k.a. the trash man, a.k.a. the trash bag, a.k.a. the trash can, get pulled from that game, and to see Tua come in there, man, and do what he did. I mean, man, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart for real. And it hurt all Georgia Bulldogs fans. Because we had that damn game. If Jalen Hurts had stayed in there, we had that game sold up, partner. And Nick Saban knew that. So he figured he didn't have anything to lose. And he threw him in there. And I ain't gonna lie, man. He's pretty damn good. I mean, just from that game, I mean, he seems to be the real deal. And I mean, you even look at a lot of mock drafts, they have him going, first round in the 2020 draft. And from looking at those games, well, I obviously saw him play against Georgia. But I also managed to do some YouTube scouting. Hashtag YouTube scouting. Managed to see him play Vanderbilt when Alabama was like thrashing them. He came in for some snaps. And he was damn good then. So Nick Saban was just sitting on this guy. And he's getting a lot of comparisons to Russell Wilson, which is why he's scheduled to go pretty high in the 2020 draft. Now we have to see what happens. Have to see what happens when he starts playing the games, and teams, they're able to get some film on him. But he seems to be the real deal, man. Alabama, they're gonna come through, man, as always, with the #1 recruits, #1 running back recruits, all that. Like that, they're gonna dominate. They're gonna be there at the end. They'll be in the discussion. They'll be in the discussion for the playoffs. Like they'll be right there. But I'm very interested in watching him this year. I want to see what he does, for a full season. Like that's what I have my eye on this year. I want to see what he does because I'm very intrigued by him because he has a damn good arm and he's athletic. And once again, the whole Russell Wilson comparisons, he is really good so far. Now you guys know me. I'm not into crowning people too early. That's why I'm saying let's wait and see what he does for a full season. But I'm very intrigued to watch Alabama this year. Just for him. I want to see what he does. I want to see if he's the real deal. Because just from the short sample, so just from the little sample that we got from him, he seems to be pretty damn good. So I'm not surprised Alabama's #1. Now Georgia, #2. Now, they lost some talent, man. They lost Roquan Smith, man. Who, you ask Dallas about losing their top linebacker and Sean Lee and see how much it hurts. Roquan Smith was a tackling machine. It's the reason why he went so high in the draft, why he was so coveted. Because he's a really good player. And I don't know how they replace their production. I don't know how they replaced it. They also lost Nick Chubb, whom I'm a really big fan of. Love Nick Chubb. I don't necessarily like the situation he's going into. A crowded backfield, Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson, who just got paid. So they're definitely going to want to use those guys together. But you lost Nick Chubb. You lost Sony Michel. Now you'll be replacing him with DeAndre Swift, who seems to be pretty good. Seems to be really good, as a matter of fact. And Georgia, they're a running back factory, man. Herschel Walker, you got Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. You can even go back to No-Show Marino, a.k.a. No-Show Marino, because he was hurt all the damn time. But he was a beast at Georgia, man. Like, Georgia's going to have some good running backs. That's kind of what they're known for. That's what they do. They have really good running backs. So, they won't necessarily, I don't know if DeAndre Swift will be able to make up entirely for the loss, but I think Georgia's okay from that perspective. Now, Jake Fromm is an interesting guy. And there was one play that made me a believer in Jake Fromm. And that was in that championship game against Alabama. I can't remember what quarter it was, and I can't remember who it went to, but it was a pretty tough throw, man. He threw it under some pressure, and he just threw it like he lofted the ball up to the receiver, and he just dropped it in the breadbasket so perfectly, and the receiver ran down the field for a touchdown. Like, that made me a believer in Jay Fromm. I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy can throw. That was an NFL throw. That was an NFL throw right there that he made. Josh Allen's not making that throw. All right. I just got to take a shot at Josh Allen, right? But yeah, Josh Allen's not making that throw. He ain't making that throw. And Jake Fromm seems to be, they're probably going to, that with Nick Chubb and Sony Michel gone, they are going to give Jake Fromm a little more freedom. Like, they're going to put the game more on his shoulders now. They'll still run. You still got Kirby Smart, who comes from that Nick Saban tree. He wants to run the football. He's going to do that. But I think that we could be in for a really good season from Jake Fromm this year. Now, I was skeptical at first, but he seems to be pretty good. And I can see why they stuck with him. And I can see why he's coming into this year as the starting quarterback. And Jacob Eason decided to dart for Washington, who was also a great quarterback. Who was a good quarterback. So I got high hopes for Georgia, man. So I can see why they're number 2. You know, man, the rest of these guys, Auburn, you know, they lost Carlton Davis. They have Jarrett Stidham, who's another interesting quarterback prospect. A lot of people like him. He's pretty high in the drafts, the mock drafts. Auburn, man, you know, man, they'll win some games. They'll win some games. I don't have confidence that they will be able to dethrone Alabama. I have no confidence at all that they'll be able to do that. They'll be competitive. They'll be really good this year. I mean, they'll make a good bowl game and all that. But I don't know if they're going to be the Alabama equalizer. I don't think that they're it. They're really good. They'll be really good. They're always really good. I mean, you know, Gus Malzahn had those guys ready to go, but they're not that interesting to me, to be honest. They are not going to dethrone Alabama, but they'll be really good. Mississippi State, Florida. Mississippi State number 4, Florida number 5. I mean, the only thing that really interests me about Mississippi State is Nick Fitzgerald. So he had that ankle injury last year, and from what I saw, man, Nick Fitzgerald is pretty good. I like him. He's another interesting prospect, man. He's another interesting prospect for the NFL draft. So we'll see what he does, man. Mississippi State, they should be solid, I guess, but they won't. I don't think they're gonna scare anybody. You know, like they're not about to overthrow anybody. So Florida number 5. Now the thing with Florida is, and I watched a few Florida games last year, they just cannot seem to find a damn quarterback. They just can't find a damn quarterback. It's like they put NFL talent into the NFL. You know, they send talent to the NFL, but for some reason, it's like, man, they just cannot find a damn quarterback. I mean, bro, I watched some dude last year, man. I think he was like number 3 or something, man. That dude was awful. Man, that dude was awful. Oh, good grief. Man, that dude was terrible. Man, I'm like, man, what the? It's like Florida have everything else, man. They're going to have some good defensive backs. They're going to have good defensive linemen. They're going to have good linebackers. They're going to have some skill position players. You know, Antonio Callaway. Now, of course, he was suspended last year, but I liked him. Like, they are going to have good talent. But for some reason, man, it's just like they cannot find a quarterback for nothing. I mean, these guys are flat out horrible that they put out onto the field. I mean, they freaking suck. I mean, who are these guys, man? Felipe Franks? Felipe Franks? That's what they're going to put out there? Emory Jones? Man, come on, man. Hey, Florida got to do better, man. If Florida can get a solid quarterback, they'll be all right. They don't have to get a dynamic quarterback. They don't need to get Tim Tebow back there. But, man, they need something better than Felipe Franks. I mean, bro, when I tell you, man, I watched that game, bro, that guy was horrible. What the hell is going on with Florida? What the hell is wrong with these guys? But, you know, man, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. So Dan Mullen is back in Florida, and he has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of work to do as far as the quarterback position is concerned. So we'll see what happens with them. Now the rest of these guys, South Carolina, man, they'll be all right. they'll be okay, I guess. LSU, they always have a whole bunch of NFL prospects, but another team that just can't seem to get the quarterback position right. It seems like they just can't get it right. They'll always send some NFL talent. They'll always have some NFL talent, but they just can't get the quarterback right. You know, they'll have some All Americans, have some first round picks, second round picks, but they won't do much, I don't think. Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher's first year. Be interesting to see what they can do. Now, I'm not finna sit up here and act like I really know Texas A&M situation, but they did lose Christian Kirk, so we'll see what happens with them. Kentucky, man, Missouri. Now, Missouri, once again, another interesting quarterback prospect in Drew Lock. I actually like him. Like, from the YouTube scouting that I did on Drew Lock, he seems like he could be pretty good. I think he can be pretty good. I'm interested to watch him this year. I would definitely be watching some Missouri games this year just to see what Drew Lock can do, because he's supposed to be pretty highly rated. I mean, people think that he'll be a first-round draft pick. I want to see what he does. I want to see. I want to see him. Now, I didn't pay that much attention to Mizzou last year because they've been pretty bad, but I will pay attention to him this year because I want to see Drew Lock. Now, Ole Miss, they're at the bottom. You know, the bottom of the barrel with Tennessee and Vanderbilt and Arkansas, and I can see why. I mean, Ole Miss, they have some decent outside players. I mean, A.J. Brown is scheduled to be a first-round draft pick, but they lost Shea Patterson, whom I didn't think was that good to begin with. I don't see what the hype is around him at all. I think that Shea Patterson is like from what I've seen. From seeing him play, he seems like he's a fourth round draft pick, maybe. He's in the Mason Rudolph, Zach Brown. He's like in that class. Like, I don't see I don't see how people could have him in the first round in their mock drafts. I don't get it. I don't like Shea Patterson. Now, maybe Jim Harbaugh will be able to coach him up this year. And if he does, that's good. Whatever. I'm not hating on the guy. I'm just saying I don't see what the hype is around. Say he's a Johnny Manziel without all the without the off the field problems. And from looking at him play, he seems like that's who he is. That's a good comparison. But I still don't. I don't get the hype around him. So, but yeah, Ole Miss, nothing really to look forward to there. Nothing at all. I mean, I'll be looking at A.J. Brown. That's probably about it. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, interesting story, man. I actually really wanted to go to Vanderbilt because they have like one of the top computer science programs, and they're one of the top schools in America, period. But they got a really good computer science program. And I really wanted to go to Vanderbilt, but then I saw the requirements. I saw how much it costs, and that dream faded pretty quickly. But Vanderbilt, Arkansas, man. So, man, the power rankings, I think ESPN has it on point, man. I mean, 1, 2, 3, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and then everybody else is kind of just like, whatever. Mississippi State number 4, Florida 5. I mean, maybe you could swap South Carolina with Florida. You really wouldn't be losing much. So, I think they got it right, though, man. But I am very excited to see Alabama play. I'm very excited to see Georgia play. Man, I want to see Missouri and Drew Lock. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm very into the NFL draft and looking at these guys and seeing who's going to be the best players on Sunday or whatever in the future. So I'm ready, man. I'm just pumped. I'm ready for the NFL season. I'm ready for college football. I'm ready for all that, man. I'm ready for all the smoke. Real talk, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to gamble. I'm ready for it. So, anyway, man, that's all I got for the Cheap Truth. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, follow the social media handles in the description. I always leave them there. Don't be afraid to drop a comment, like the podcast, whatever, man. Download, subscribe. And I will talk to you on Friday. Be safe out there, man. Peace.